Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a nice little group of 10 petrol lighters that we recently purchased in a Facebook Live auction. Actually, there are 9 petrol lighters and 1 butane lighter. So we'll have to see whether that'll hold gas, whether we can get the mechanism cleared of old degraded flint and get that back up and running, or perhaps that butane lighter will be for prospective trade. We shall see. The one lighter in the group that is not a Ronson is this automatic lighter with a synthetic wrap made by Hadson. Looks like there is that a polo player maybe? I think that may be, I'm not sure what you would call that, what polo players swing, if that's a mallet or club or whatever you would call that, but that's what it looks like. A person on the back of a horse with some sort of an implement in their hand. This auction was held on the personal Facebook page of a fellow named Thomas J. Heald. And I've been familiar with Thomas for quite some time, but I've never purchased anything from him before. But a couple of weeks ago, he started advertising in various of the different Facebook lighter groups that he was going to be having an auction on his personal Facebook page, that a fellow collector named Joe Christensen had passed, and his family had apparently donated his lighters to be auctioned off for charity, and that charity in particular was the Mental Health America of Wisconsin Foundation. Here's a pretty interesting Ronson gem. It's in pretty clean condition, and I haven't seen this particular design before. Tiles of 4 tiles or 3.5 tiles with some sort of leaves up there at the top, other shapes and objects down here in the lower portion. Looks like that mechanism may be seized up by old degraded flint. No problem there. We can probably take that mechanism apart, disassemble it, clean out the old flint, and have that lighter working in no time. Here is another Ronson that says made in England. I believe this is the Cadet. There's a dent running through it right there, you can see, against that embossment of the design there. Marked Ronson on the front post, not marked on the back one. And that mechanism is not seized, but without knowing whether or not there's flint in it, I'm not going to strike it. That one came in this little pouch. I don't know if that is original to the lighter or not, but pretty nifty. So we've looked at those 5 so far. I am always keen to get a hold of another round lighter, especially the Ronsons. At the current moment, I don't have any idea whether this is a Rondette Junior, Regent Junior. I forget what all the round Ronson lighters names are. Does show plenty of wear on the insert, on the case. I don't know if this is leather or some kind of polymer, but it has these black embellishments added to the sides, and it looks like leather, but it may be some sort of synthetic material. Either way, that one will be a lot of fun to work on and hopefully strike up for you in a video one of these days. Now, I have used Flitz polish before. It says restores paint for metal, plastic, and fiberglass. So if it says it restores paint, I guess it must be safe to polish some paints with it. It says it's non-abrasive. So I appreciate you, Thomas, including this in the package, and I will put it to use. The bottle of Flitz that I had dried out on me, and I haven't ordered any more, so I will definitely put that to use. I think I remember Thomas mentioning in the Facebook lighter groups that maybe his next door neighbor works for Flitz. Some kind of connection with Thomas and a Flitz salesman, I believe. Dent on the back of this lighter. There are 3 of these that are, well, they look identical to me. Ronson Whirlwinds with 4 different flags on them. And I'm sure somebody will clue me in on what those flags mean, or what the symbols on the flags mean. All of these lighters look used. That one there looks like it's got a fairly clean wick. And the lighter itself looks pretty clean too. That one's got some corrosion or rust up here on that post. It's in pretty good shape too, though. Maybe some plating loss there on the back side of that post. And then this first one was probably the one that was in the worst condition. Pretty good chunk there on the bottom. Although that wick looks pretty clean as well. I opened one of these up earlier. There we go. I believe these were produced kind of during a hybrid period there from the old Whirlwind until they started making the Whirlwind Imperial. Or maybe they continued to make the Whirlwind even after they made the Whirlwind Imperial. But you can see that there is your flint spring and screw, and you don't have a fuel cap. The fuel cap is basically the entire bottom of the lighter, which twists to give you access to fuel the lighter. Very cool. Always interesting to get multiple lighters of the same design. It's funny how often that happens. So there are our 3 Whirlwind Imperials, or not Whirlwind Imperials, just 3 Whirlwinds. And I'm no Ronson expert. Take what I say as far as that twist bottom being during a transition period. It could have been that after a certain point they all got the twist bottom. I don't know exactly how that worked out. And then here is a really cool lighter. Does have some blemishes and plenty of scuffs and wear to it. Kind of a powder blue with some angelic figures adorning the front of it. Some sort of angels. I don't know if they are cherubs, what the technical kind of angel would be. Having infant-like features, I think that might be cherubs or cherubim, however you would say that. This is a Ronson Capri. Has the same twist mechanism as all of those Whirlwinds do. Which the first lighter that well, not the first lighter. I had a Japanese made lighter, and I can't remember the brand right now, but somebody commented on that. I think it was our friend Daniel Nieves. Commented on that Japanese made, I think the brand was Vestal, Vestal. Could be wrong, it's just off the top of my head. But it had a twist bottom, and our friend Daniel Nieves commented on that video and told me that it reminded him of the Whirlwind Imperial, which, well, that lighter looks brand new too. Looks like the flint tube is definitely clogged up by old flint. So get ready. You'll see several projects with these lighters, and glad to get several more of these with the twist bottom. I haven't had all that many of these in the last few years, but definitely glad to make this purchase. Next time Thomas decides to do a charity auction, I for one will plan on being there, and I suggest that you do too. But in the meantime, you just never know when someone is going to want to liquidate a collection, maybe make some money off of their own collection, or raising some money for charity like Thomas did in this case. But either way, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. It's an awesome group of lighters here, and I look forward to working with them. And again, I would suggest all of you get out there and join those Facebook lighter groups. Zippo Vintage Lighter Deal or No Deal, Zippo Addicts, DependableFlame.com, Facebook lighter group. There's several others. Alten Fuserzorg, which is basically German lighters. There are Thorns groups, Imco groups, Dunhill groups. There's groups for just about every kind of lighter that you might be interested in. Maybe I need to create a group for vintage Cygnus collectors. But whatever it is that floats your boat, whatever your interests are, you get out there and start seeing what people are posting for sale in some of those lighter groups or wanting to trade. You'll be certain that you have found a home in that group. Until next time.